Right? Okay. Very good evening again, everyone. Sorry for the glitches and the technical issues we felt over here. तो दोस्तों अभी शुरू करते हैं अपने इस सेशन को. एक बार नई रिफ्रेशिंग स्टार्ट लेते हैं. एक बार सभी लोग जुड़ जाइए मेरे साथ में. आई होप कि अभी ये लैग नहीं कर रहा होगा और आप सभी लोगों को मेरी आवाज ठीक से सुनाई दे रही होगी. एक बार जल्दी से मुझे कमेंट करके बता दीजिए. प्लीज कमेंट मी, इज इट स्टिल लैगिंग या फिर आप मुझे बहुत स्मूथली देख पा रहे हैं? Am I properly audible to everyone? All the students in the batch, नीट हैकर वाले बच्चे, दोस्तों क्या मेरी आवाज सही से आ रही है आप सभी को? करेक्ट, आई थिंक अब सब स्मूथ है, अंडर कंट्रोल है. तो चलिए शुरू कर देते हैं. चलो, थैंक यू. चलिए शुरू कर देते हैं दोस्तों के. सो आई मस्ट गिव यू दिस एडवाइस एवरीवन. एज वी ऑल नो, आप में से काफी सारे लोग रिपीटर्स हैं एंड आप सभी लोग अपनी जर्नी की शुरुआत करना चाह रहे हैं. यू ऑल आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर नीट 2026. तो हियर इज द सजेशन फॉर एवरी वन ऑफ यू दैट यू शुड स्टार्ट एनालाइजिंग योर मिस्टेक्स ऑफ द प्रीवियस ईयर. कि आपने पिछले कुछ सालों में क्या गलतियां की हैं जिस वजह से आप अपने एग्जाम को जिस लेवल तक चाहते थे वहां तक नहीं स्कोर कर पाए. एंड एवरीथिंग स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम द बेसिक. हर एक चीज की शुरुआत होती है जीरो से. ब्रिंग योरसेल्फ टू जीरो, ब्रिंग योरसेल्फ टू ग्राउंड लेवल एंड देन स्टार्ट एनालाइजिंग योर मिस्टेक. हर चीज को बेसिक से पढ़ते हुए चलिए और आप पहुंच जाएंगे वहां पर जहां पर आप किसी भी डिफिकल्टी लेवल के सवाल लगा सकते हैं. नॉट जस्ट नीट, इनफैक्ट जेईई में एडवांस लेवल के क्वेश्चन आप कर पाएंगे. यही मेरा बेसिकली फंडा है, यही मेरा बेसिकली तरीका है पढ़ाने का. लेट्स स्टार्ट द सेशन. सम बेसिक कांसेप्ट्स ऑफ केमिस्ट्री. फर्स्ट चैप्टर फ्रॉम. ओके, थैंक यू हुडा अब्दुल फॉर कंफर्मिंग. थैंक यू दिव्या. सो गाइस, you all know me already. Those who don't know me, my name is Sanjay Arya. I've been teaching from past 10 years. Meanwhile of my journey, I have produced so many good results, which are over here. By this year, I expect some of very good results from your side also. So just stay focused. Okay, try to give your 100%, and then you will definitely acquire the result or the rank which you are looking for. The first chapter from NCERT is the basic concepts of chemistry. We also call this chapter as a mole concept. तो mole concept में दोस्तों हमें सबसे पहले समझना होगा why we are studying all three subjects: physics, chemistry, biology. These all come under the part of science. And science is what? Science is continuous human effort to systematize the knowledge for describing nature or describing and understanding the nature and natural phenomena. So I gave you one simple definition that science is nothing but the understanding of the nature and natural phenomenon. Why we are doing it? To make the world better. Every day we evolve. हर दिन हम evolve होते हैं, नए changes आते हैं, and somewhere we don't settle anywhere. We keep on doing the experimentation. आज से अगर back in centuries की बात की जाए, back in 1000 centuries back, when there was no discovery of electricity, people used to have a device, they call it pankha or a fan. और fan को basically to and fro motion के through वो क्या करते थे? Winnowate, in order to produce the wind so that they can feel cold. With the invention of electricity, we all reached to fan. Electric fan के बाद आए coolers. Cooler used to follow the phenomenon or the application called as evaporation causes cooling. And right after cooler, we came to air conditioner. And air conditioner also nowadays are coming with artificial intelligence. They determine, they predict how many number of people are there in the room, and then they provide the cooling. So basically, it's all evolution. Science is nothing but just simply understanding the nature and natural phenomena. तो दोस्तों, नोट्स कैसे बनाएंगे आप सभी लोग? आप जैसे जैसे मैंने सीक्वेंस में चीजें लिखी हुई हैं उनको लिखते जाएंगे अपने नोटबुक में, and try to make sure that whatever written is there on the board, you have it should be there in your notebook, okay, including this. So science is nothing but just understanding of nature and natural phenomena. Now let's come to branches of science. So science is vast, as we are understanding nature, and nature is vast. So there are lots of number or lots of branches of science. There could be one branch, as I told you, space science, which deals with the spatial objects. Spatial objects such as stars, space, galaxies, planets, etc. Another branch of science could be earth science. Earth science may involve geology, mining, ecology, mineralogy. Something which is related to earth or earth crust comes under the category of earth science. Then understanding the living world, nature in its living world, comes under the category of biology. Biology also has two different segments, zoology and botany. Understanding the living world in terms of plants and animals respectively. Then we have physics. Physics deals with the physical world. And then there is one more branch of science that is something that you cannot see through your naked eyes. This is something that you cannot see through your naked eyes. A microscopic level things are happening in chemistry. That's why we see that chemistry is mysterious. Chemistry is mysterious. We propose theories. In chemistry, you might have known for so many theories, Bohr's atomic theory, then we had like Dalton's atomic theory, Rutherford's atomic theory, John Thomson's atomic model, and then we came to Bohr atomic model, wave mechanical model. What we are basically proposing is a theory, because something that you can't see by naked eyes, है ना, atomic level की चीजें, atom, molecule, ion, electron, proton, neutron, ऐसी चीजों के लिए क्या required है? ऐसी चीजों के लिए required है proposal of a theory, working upon that theory. If the results or the conclusion come in the good direction, we assume that the theory was correct, like that. तो साइंस के इन बेसिकली सभी पार्ट्स में से हम यहां पे क्या स्टडी कर रहे हैं? दिस पार्ट इज कॉल्ड एज केमिस्ट्री. What we have to understand is chemistry. So write down the definition of chemistry. This definition of chemistry is given in NCERT. This definition of chemistry says that chemistry is the science of molecule and their transformations. It is the science not so much of 100 elements, but it is of infinite variety of the molecule that may be built from them. So more or less, guys, you must understand that on this earth where we are living, we have discovered till date 118 elements. These 118 elements can react with each other and can produce millions, trillions, and even more than that combinations of the compounds. So that is what the chemistry is, the transformations of elements into compound and a variety of that. So this definition of chemistry was given by Roald Hoffman. Roald Hoffman is an American chemist who was awarded for the Nobel Prize, who was also awarded by Nobel Prize for his molecular transformational work, proposal of inter-exchange or inter-conversion of the elements into molecule. आइए फिर से बात करते हैं. We have a simple definition of chemistry here. We have a simpler definition of chemistry from NCERT. Says that chemistry deals with the study of material. Chemistry deals with what? Deals with the study of material, their properties, their preparation, their accurate super microscopic structure. You know what is the meaning of accurate super microscopic structure? What is it made up of? So whether it is made up of an atom, whether it is made up of ions, whether it is made up of molecules. So if we talk about this microscopic level structure, it also comes under the part of chemistry. And their mutual interactions and their uses in all possible walk of the life. This is another alternate definition of chemistry. More or less what we can say, chemistry deals with the study of what? Matter. केमिस्ट्री में हम लोग क्या पढ़ते हैं दोस्तों? मैटर पढ़ते हैं। मैटर के लिए क्या क्या जानते हैं हम लोग? मैटर के प्रॉपर्टीज पढ़ते हैं। हम लोग मैटर किस चीज से मिलके बना हुआ है, सो वी कैन सी इट्स कॉम्पोजिशन, व्हाट इज इट मेड अप ऑफ, देन what kind of changes it undergoes. We also understand the changes oblique transformations oblique, we also call it reactions. In chemistry, wherever we see change, that change means what? Reactions. So this is what we deal in defining chemistry. Chemistry is what? Study of matter in terms of its properties, composition, and what changes does it get, changing from one form to another. So guys, there are some examples where you will find the importance of chemistry in our daily to daily life. We all know there are some refrigerants which are chlorofluorocarbon, very much harmful for nature. CFCs, chlorofluorocarbon, deplete the ozone layer so that ultraviolet rays from sun directly come to the surface, causing its harmful effect. But ozone layer protects us from the direct exposure of ultraviolet rays. Now, using chlorofluorocarbon, the ozone layer was depleting. So we have produced the safer alternatives. We have produced is what? Safer alternatives, which are HFCs, hydrofluorocarbon, HFCs. This is an example of why chemistry is important to us. There are some important medicines by the name of cisplatin and Taxol, which are used in the cancer therapy. We also have another medicine that is used for AIDS victims, which is azithromycin. Azithromycin. These all are the examples where you will see how important chemistry is in our daily life. ठीक है दोस्तों, यहां तक बहुत सिंपल सी बात है। आइए समझते हैं एक सवाल को, एक बहुत सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन समझते हैं। Here is the question, जो अपन ने अभी तक पढ़ा है उसमें से एक सवाल लेते हैं। Cisplatin and Taxol are effectively used for what? Cancer therapy, cardiac therapy, physiotherapy or muscular therapy. Come on everyone, give me the answer. I want to see how many of us are active over here. सभी लोग आंसर देंगे मुझे। मैं देखना चाहूंगा कि कितने लोग एक्टिवली यहां पर लेक्चर अटेंड कर रहे हैं। बिल्कुल यहीं से आंसर लिया हुआ है मैंने। देखिए, सिस्प्लेटिन एंड टैक्सोल आर इफेक्टिव इन द कैंसर थेरेपी, तो सिंपली द आंसर शुड बी व्हाट? कैंसर थेरेपी 1, करेक्ट? So more or less what we have decided, more or less we simply said that chemistry is nothing but the study of what? Chemistry is the study of matter, right? Chemistry is the study of what? Matter. Chemistry is the study of what? Matter. So now let us come to the another topic which is called as matter. Everything that you study in chemistry comes under matter. So guys, this basic thing that we are right now studying will help us. Let me just give you an idea what we are bringing out of this study. Matter can be classified into so many things such as atom, ion, molecule, formula units, atomic mass, molecular mass, relative atomic mass, gram molecular mass. These all number of things will be cleared once you study this particular matter. So आइए दोस्तों मैटर की शुरुआत करते हैं। ये सारे कॉम्प्लिकेशंस कब दूर होंगे? जब हम समझेंगे अबाउट मैटर। So matter is anything. Matter could be anything that has two things. One of them is mass, another one is called as space. Anything that is non-matter or not a matter will be lacking some of these. Either it will not be having mass, it will be massless, or it will be having no space. So anything that has mass is called as matter. The examples are pen, pencil, book, laptop, water, juice, fan, air, whatever you see near around you, and if it has some mass and occupy the space, it will be regarded as a matter. Let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one question. Is a shadow a matter? दोस्तों क्वेश्चन ये कि क्या परछाई मैटर है? Okay, so let's suppose I'm standing here, light is falling on me, and this part of the ground has been, what I say, occupied. This part of the ground has been occupied by my shadow. So shadow is occupying some space, but the question is it matter or not? So guys, I'm hoping for the correct answer. Siddhant, Huda, Divya, please give me the correct answer. What do you think? Do you consider shadow as a matter or not? Because as we already seen that shadow occupies space. But the correct question is, does it also has mass? What if I put my shadow on a weighing machine? So let's suppose if there is a weighing machine on which my shadow is falling, would it weigh something? Would it show some reading? The correct answer is no. The correct answer is no. A shadow may occupy space. A shadow may occupy space, but shadow is massless. Shadow does not have any mass. A shadow is massless. So guys, try to understand, something which is massless can never be regarded as a matter. So simply the answer should be shadow is simply the absence of light. Shadow is simply the absence of light. Can't be regarded as matter. You cannot call shadow as a matter, because shadow is nothing but simply absence of light. Here on the board, I have given you one question, and you have 10 objects written on the board. Your task is to identify how many of these are matter. Okay, let me know in the comment section. Everybody please try it. Everybody please try it. Be active. Here are some objects: pen, paper, water, air, oil, juice, sweetness, whatever it is, whatever the word is written. You have to identify how many these are matter. Starting from here, coming till here, we have to know how many of them are matter. चलिए दोस्तों, जल्दी से बताइए कितने लोग यहां पर मैटर है? कितने लोग यहां पर मैटर है? देखिए, if you put a pen on weighing machine, it will weigh something. It also occupies the space. Pen is a matter. Paper is a matter. Water is matter. Air is matter. Oil is matter. Juice is matter. Sweetness is simply a taste. Sweetness is simply a taste. A taste cannot have any mass. That's why it cannot consider as a matter. Again, heat is a form of energy. Heat is a form of energy. Energy does not have any mass, and that's why we cannot consider heat as a matter. On the other hand, we have heat engine. Heat engine has a mass, and that's why heat engine is a matter. Coming to love, well, love is something that is emotion. Love comes under the category of emotion. Love doesn't have any weight. Love doesn't have any mass. Love also doesn't have any space. So we cannot consider love as a matter. Now, can you count the right tick over here? क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि टोटल कितने मैटर हैं यहां पर? कितने राइट टिक लगे हुए हैं यहां पर? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. The correct answer should be 7. So Siddhant submitted the answer that except sweetness, heat and love all are matter. And I think Siddhant, you have made it right. The correct answer is 7. Now we were discussing about matter. We also have some of the properties of matter, some of the characteristics of matter which are very important to us. In order to classify a matter, these properties decide what type of matter should exist. Okay, it is a pure substance or it's a mixture of something. It's an element, it's a compound, it's solid, liquid, gas, plasma, Bose, Einstein, condensate. whatever the physical state or chemical state it is exhibiting, this all under the category, this all is governed by the characteristic. So everybody please keep on writing with me. We have some important properties with that, which are characteristics of matter. Number one property says that matter is made up of a large number of tiny size particle. Matter is made up of what? Large number of tiny size particle. We call such particles as constituent particle of matter. And believe me, these constituent particle of matter decide a matter what particular chemical composition it must have. For an example, if something is made up of only atoms, it is recalled as an element. If something is made up of molecules, it is regarded, this matter is regarded as a compound. And something that is made up of ions, it can become ionic compound. So anyways, yahan tak likh lijiye. Point wise point, matter is made up of tiny size particle called as constituent particle of matter. Particle of matter always attract each other with a force of attraction called as interparticle force of attraction. And we can see that interparticle force of attraction is higher over here because particles are quite in contact with each other. In liquid, we have seen, or like we can see in this particular state of matter, particles are a bit far from each other. The force of attraction is moderate. And the last one you can see, there's a very less interparticle force of attraction. 3 points we have covered. Matter particle are called as constituent particle. Particles are classified into atom, molecule, and ion, and particles can also have interparticle force of attraction. Similarly, let it be in either way that even if it is filled with this arrangement, there are somewhat empty spaces. There are still somewhat empty space, and these empty space are called as interparticle spaces. So matter always possesses what? Interparticle spaces. This point is also covered, interparticle space. Next point, that all the particles of matter do not stay there. They continuously keep on motion. They continuously remain in motion. And this motion creates one energy called as kinetic energy. With the motion of some object, the energy that arrives is called as kinetic energy. So guys, let's see what type of motion are there. So broadly, there are like 3 type of motion that you'll see in our basically physics and chemistry also in state of matter. So there is one thing called as translational motion. Translational motion. Basically, translation motion is nothing but the motion in one dimension, or we can simply say linear motion. Linear motion is called as what? Translational motion. So let us suppose from A point I am going to B point. This type of motion comes under the category of translational motion. So any kinetic energy that will be arrived due to the one straight line motion is called as translational kinetic energy. The another kinetic energy that we understand is called as vibrational kinetic energy. Or we can say we have the vibrational motion. Because of the vibrational motion, what we observe is vibrational kinetic energy. What is vibration? There is a mean position. There is a mean position to which a particle keeps to and fro motion. Okay. So let us suppose the particle starts from here A and reaches to here B by covering the same distance in to and fro motion. This type of motion is called as what? Vibration motion. So basically I can write what type of motion is this. It's a to and fro motion. What kind of motion is this? It's a to and fro motion. Then we have third one. Third is called as rotational motion. What is rotation? So guys, what happens? Let's say I'm a particle and some particle has particle in front, back, left, right, up, down, everywhere. ऐसे situation में एक particle कहीं भी नहीं जा सकता. What I can do is I can just simply rotate on my own axis. So this is what we call as a rotational that this is the axis and the particle is revolving at on axis. Revolving around on axis is the motion called as rotational motion. So these three type of motions are exhibited by the constituent particle of matter. And we all know with the motion comes the kinetic energy. So every particular matter has its particle in these motions so that it always carry out some kinetic energy. So what if I sum all the kinetic energies? There are some kind of 3 kinetic energies with every particle. And what if I sum up all the kinetic energies associated with all particles in a matter? Then the sum of kinetic energies of all the particle imparts a thermal energy to a matter. So what I can see, simply come over here, that thermal energy of a matter, is equals to the summation of kinetic energy of all the particles. What all the particles? Let's say the particle ith I'm talking about. So from I is equals to 1 to n particles. If there are total number of n particle, and if I sum the kinetic energies of all the particles, there we have thermal energy. इसे हम लोग क्या नाम देते हैं दोस्तों? Thermal energy. Thermal energy is the sum of kinetic energies of all the particles. I hope आप सभी लोगों ने इनको बहुत अच्छे से लिख लिया होगा. I hope this everything is very much written down in your notebook. Every single thing that I write on the board is very much important to you for your exam. Every single one thing that you are studying over here may appear in your exam in any kind of way. This is what NEET exam is all about. तो दोस्तों किसी भी चीज को स्किप ना करें, हर एक चीज को लिखते हुए चलें, अंडरस्टैंड करें, मेरे साथ साथ क्लास में नोट्स बनाने की कोशिश करें. If you find that somewhere you are lagging and I'm going a bit faster, in that way you can visit or revisit the lecture again. You can watch the recorded video or the notes will be saved there. Notes will be saved there. You can download the notes, can copy the things that you have forgotten, and then you can make your proper notes. But everybody, make sure that you are making your notes properly, because wherever you study, whatever you study, your notes are very helpful throughout the year, so that you can make sure anytime you want to revise your subject, you can go through your own notes. So anyways, I'll keep on guiding you how you can make your notes, how short notes will be made. Everything will be done, okay, over here in this class only. But आज हमारी पहली क्लास है, तो मैं आप सभी लोगों को सिंपली कहूंगा कि जो बेसिक्स में पढ़ा रहा हूं इनको फोकस करते हुए चले, नोट डाउन करते चले, हर एक चीज के ऊपर फोकस रहे. Let's come to the classification of matter. How matter is classified? So matter can be classified under 2 properties. One of them is called as physical classification. Number 1 is called as what? Physical classification. Dividing in physical classification is based upon the physical states. So if something is divided under the physical classification, so physically there are, broadly there are 3 major states of matter called as the classical states or the fundamental states of matter, which are solid, liquid, gas. There could be some more physical states. Some important one are plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. These 3 states of matter are called as fundamental states of matter. And the remaining one will be non-fundamental states of matter. Next classification of matter is called as chemical classification. Everybody please keep on writing with me. We have chemical classification. Chemically, a substance can be broadly classified into 2 categories. Chemically, a substance could be either pure substance, or a substance can be impure, or we can simply call it a mixture of something, okay? Pure substance can be further classified under 3 categories. One of them is called as element. One of them is called as compound. And compounds are further could be classified under ionic compounds. Similarly, mixtures are of two types: homogeneous, heterogeneous. The homogeneous mixtures are also called as solutions or true solutions, and heterogeneous one are of two type. One of them is called as colloid, the another one is called as suspension. Colloids and suspension. This is what a classification is all about. So based upon what? Physical classification is based on physical states or properties, and this is based on chemical classification, or chemical, we can say, composition. What is it made up of? Chemical composition and properties. So this is type of classification that we study for a matter. So matter is now classified, and we will understand each one of these categories, okay, one by one. So let us understand each and every one of the category one by one. So first of all, we'll directly go to solid, liquid or gas. See, we had one chapter by the name of solid state in 12th standard. Now it's not in our syllabus, so we will not study it right now. Liquid state, there is a chapter in 12th standard by the name of solutions. So there you will understand about it in more depth. And gas, there is one chapter called as states of matter, or we call it gaseous state. One another very important chapter. Still not a part of our syllabus, but we will understand this chapter in order to understand the thermodynamics chapter very well. Okay, चलो फिर से आते हैं. तो बात चल रही है कि ये है हमारा क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ मैटर. आई होप आप सभी लोगों ने लिख लिया होगा. क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ मैटर आप सभी लोगों को आना चाहिए. मैटर की अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत क्लियर होनी चाहिए. You all must know every time what is pure substance, element, compound, ionic compound, homogeneous, heterogeneous, solution, colloid, suspension, atom, ion, molecule, fundamental state, solid, liquid, gas, plasma, BC. इनका आइडिया आपको होना चाहिए. You all must know how to classify them. Now I'll take you to the next topic, which is distinguishing physical states of matter, which were solid, liquid and gas. Okay, distinguishing three things: solid, liquid and gas. देखिए दोस्तों, solid, liquid, gas को distinguish करने के लिए कुछ parameters होते हैं, कुछ properties होते हैं. These properties are volume, shape, hardness, rigidity, interparticle force of attraction, interparticle space, thermal energy, density, compressibility and fluidity. आइए इनको इंडिविजुअली समझते हैं एक एक पर्टिकुलर क्लासिफिकेशन के लिए. जैसे सॉलिड की बात करें तो वॉल्यूम क्या रहता है दोस्तों? सॉलिड्स का वॉल्यूम दोस्तों रहता है फिक्स्ड. सॉलिड्स का या लिक्विड्स का वॉल्यूम भी क्या रहेगा? फिक्स. 2 लीटर मिलकर 2 लीटर ही रहेगा. 1 लीटर पानी 1 लीटर ही रहेगा. लेकिन गैस के लिए वॉल्यूम जो रहती है वो होती है कंटेनर की वॉल्यूम. अगर आपने 300 ml के अंदर अगर किसी परफ्यूम को रखा हुआ है तो जैसे उस आप उसे पूरा बाहर निकालेंगे वो रूम का वॉल्यूम ले लेगी. एंड इफ यू ओपन द डोर it will go in the hall or the corridor and it will take the entire volume available to it. ठीक है. Shape, we talk about the shape. Solids have fixed shape. Liquids do not have any fixed shape. Whatever the container you are taking liquid into, it will take its shape. क्यों भैया? ग्लास में ग्लास जैसी शेप, बॉल में बॉल जैसी शेप, सिलेंडर में सिलेंडर जैसी शेप, बकेट में बकेट जैसी शेप. एंड गैसेज ऑल्सो डू नॉट हैव एनी फिक्स्ड शेप. इनको जिस कंटेनर में डालेंगे उसी की शेप ले लेगा. हार्डनेस एंड रिजिडिटी. देखिए दोस्तों, सॉलिड्स आर हार्ड एंड रिजिड. सॉलिड्स क्या होते हैं? हार्ड होते हैं, रिजिड होते हैं. देखिए, रिजिडिटी का मतलब होता है कि एप्लीकेशन ऑफ फोर्स से उनकी शेप चेंज नहीं होगी. देखिए, इस पे अप्लाई कर रहा हूं फोर्स, शेप चेंज नहीं हो रही है. हार्डनेस का मीनिंग क्या होता है कि अगर हम स्क्रैच करते हैं, इफ वी स्क्रैच दैट थिंग एंड इट रेजिस्ट टू चेंज, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज हार्डनेस. Liquid are also, no, liquid are not hard or non-rigid. Similarly, gases are not hard and they are also non-rigid. What about their interparticle forces of attraction? Their interparticle forces of attraction in solids are the highest, or we can say they are maximum. There are intermediate, and then we have minimum. Why? See guys, I have this pen in my hand. अब मैं इस पेन का एक कॉर्नर पकड़ रहा हूं, see, like this. But the pen is not falling. Why? Because one particle of the pen is bonded with the another particle and in sequential manner up to till here. But can I hold like this pen? Can I hold water like this? आप पानी को नहीं रख सकते इस तरीके से because it has intermediate force of attraction. In fact, you can swim through water. You can swim through water, departing the particles. What does it make you understand? It makes us understand that there is a little bit force of attraction between water. But if we're talking about the air, we can easily move our hands through here because air is everywhere. Oxygen, nitrogen, है ना, carbon dioxide. So many gases are here. लेकिन हम आसानी से हाथ पांव कर सकते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? बहुत कम पार्टिकल के बीच में अट्रैक्शन है. इसी तरीके से स्पेसेस सबसे ज्यादा क्या रहेंगे? गैसेस में. So maximum interparticle spaces are here. Then we have intermediate, means moderate of solid and gas, and solids have what? Minimum interparticle space. If we talk about the thermal energy is what? Sum of kinetic energy. Who will be having highest kinetic energy? Gaseous state will be having highest because the particles are in continuous motion and they may show varieties of the motion: translational, rotational, vibrational. But if we talk about the solid state, particles are compactly packed. अभी compact particle translation motion तो नहीं कर पाएंगे. ये सिर्फ क्या कर सकते हैं? Vibrate या फिर rotate. तो आइए लिख लेते हैं इस बात को. Thermal energy is minimum in solid state, intermediate in liquid state, and maximum in gaseous state. If we talk about the density, solids have high density, liquids have intermediate density, and gases have low density. If we talk about the compressibility, ability to compress or ability to apply the force so that the volume is reduced. Now this is available, not available in solids, so we can say that solids are incompressible. Solids are incompressible. Liquids are compressible. No, liquids are also incompressible. We cannot press liquids. And finally, gases are highly compressible. What gases are? Gases are highly compressible. Okay. Compressed natural gas, liquid petroleum gas. You can compress the gases. There is another thing called as fluidity. Fluidity is defined for the fluid's ability to flow. Whenever molecules have a linear line by line flow. Let's suppose if I make this pen fall off my hand, the pen itself comes down, not the layer of pen. But if I drop water, if I take water and make it flow, what will happen? See, complete water is not coming. Layer by layer is coming. See, layers are coming. So basically this example studio staff will take action against me, पर कम से कम कोई चीज समझ में आ रही है. और सेम दोस्तों किसके लिए होता है? गैसेस भी क्या होती है? फ्लूइड होती है, हर डायरेक्शन में फैल जाते हैं. तो फ्लूइडिटी, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट solids आर कॉल्ड एज नॉन फ्लूइड, liquids are fluids, so does gas. ठीक है ना? यहां तक किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो पूछ लीजिए. इफ एनीवन हैज एनी डाउट लेट मी नो. और अगर यहां तक सब क्लियर है तो मैं आगे बढ़ जाता हूं. ये बेसिकली था फिजिकल क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ मैटर को थोड़ा सा इलैबोरेटेड फॉर्म में पढ़ा हमने, इंक्लूडिंग ऑल दी प्रॉपर्टीज दे पोजेस. इसके बाद दोस्तों आती है द फोर्थ स्टेट ऑफ मैटर. दिस इज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर सिलेबस, बट we can consider this state of matter because in atomic structure you will understand plasmic state is formed there in what I can call it cathode ray experiment. So this is nothing but simply what does it contain? It's a mixture of some ionized gas particles, ionized as in those who have left the electron, along with negatively charged electrons. So the mixture of these two, like some ions are there with positive charge, some electrons are there with negative charge, their mixture is quite bright and flashy. It's quite bright and flashy. तो ये जो चमकते हुए रंग दिखाई देते हैं हमें, ये चमकते हुए रंग रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं किसके लिए? प्लाज्मिक फॉर्म के लिए। तो प्लाज्मा हमेशा ब्राइट फ्लैश दिखाई देता है। जैसे आपने देखा होगा लाइटनिंग, है ना, बिजली कड़कना, लाइटनिंग इज व्हाट? ब्राइट फ्लैश, व्हाइट फ्लैश। सिमिलरली intergalactic medium, interstellar medium, wherever some solar energy is there and passing through vacuum or passing through some gas particle and they get ionized, that also becomes what? The form of plasma. तो दोस्तों ऐसा कहा गया, it has been assumed that 95% of the universe is made up of this form only, which contains positively charged gas, ion and electrons, and this state is called as the fourth state of matter, plasma. तो दोस्तों इतना ही समझेंगे इसके बारे में. Let's not go in very deep of this thing. It does not have any fixed shape just like gas, but it has what? It has less density than the solid and liquid. ये आप थोड़ा सा नोट डाउन यहाँ पे कर सकते हैं, आपके अकॉर्डिंगली आप नोट डाउन कर सकते हैं. दिव्या इज आस्किंग मी टू रिपीट इट, सो ठीक है मैं इसमें रिपीट कर देता हूं. देखिए इसमें सिंपल ऐसा है कि जब भी हम लोग कोई गैस सैंपल है, कोई भी गैस सैंपल है, लेट्स सपोज मैंने कहा हीलियम गैस, तो दोस्तों हीलियम गैस जो रहेगी उसमें क्या होते हैं? एटम्स होते हैं. हीलियम 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 के सैंपल में क्या है? एटम्स. दीज आर व्हाट? हीलियम एटम्स. बेसिकली दीज आर द पार्टिकल्स. और मैटर कौन है? मैटर हीलियम गैस. तो अगर मान लीजिए मैं इन्हें सब्जेक्ट कर देता हूं कुछ अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी, मैं इनको क्या सब्जेक्ट कर देता हूं? हाई एनर्जी. तो ये हाई एनर्जी क्या करेगी? इन्हें ब्रेक डाउन कर देगी. हाई एनर्जी क्या करेगी? इन्हें ब्रेक डाउन कर देगी. तो बेसिकली आप देखेंगे कि जो हीलियम है, जो हीलियम है वो ब्रेक डाउन हो जाएगा किसमें? आयनाइज हो जाएगा He+ और इलेक्ट्रॉन में. He+ और इलेक्ट्रॉन में. सो मोर और लेस अभी उसी मिक्सचर में क्या दिखाई देंगे? He+, He+, और हर एक He+ से एक एक इलेक्ट्रॉन निकला है, तो हर एक एक इलेक्ट्रॉन हो जाएंगे. तो ये जो मिक्सचर है दोस्तों, किस चीज का मिक्सचर है? मिक्सचर ऑफ पॉजिटिव चार्ज्ड गैस आयोन्स एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? प्लाज्मा कहते हैं. क्या कहते हैं? प्लाज्मा. और ये प्लाज्मा कैसा अपीयर होता है? ये अपीयर होता है दोस्तों, अपीयर्स ब्राइट फ्लैशी. इज इट क्लियर नाउ एवरीवन? क्या आप लोग समझ रहे हैं कि क्या होते हैं प्लाज्मा, कैसे रिप्रेजेंट होते हैं प्लाज्मा? आई होप आप सभी लोगों को प्लाज्मा की डेफिनेशन समझ में आ रही होगी कि क्या होते हैं प्लाज्मा. तो प्लाज्मा को हम लोगों ने फोर्थ स्टेट ऑफ मैटर कहा गया, और कैसा कहा गया कि यूनिवर्स में ये स्टेट बहुत ज्यादा एग्जिस्ट करती है. दिस इज व्हाई वी हैव सेड कि अप्रोक्सीमेटली 95% ऑफ द यूनिवर्स कंटेन्स व्हाट? प्लाज्मा. सन क्या है? it's made up of so many gases and with a high amount of energy, like some fission and fusion reactions ongoing there. With that high amount of energy, gas particles are converting into plasma because of the positive charge cation and electron mixture. So that's why we have said like 95% of the universe is made up of what? Plasma. आइए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So this is not a part of our syllabus. Don't worry guys. In NEET syllabus, it doesn't come. Although somewhere there's a basically proof of existence of this state of matter. जैसे कि आप आगे चल के पढ़ेंगे, जो मैंने बताया एटॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर यहाँ पे जिक्र होता है इस चीज का. इसी तरीके से आप आगे चल के थर्मोडायनेमिक्स पढ़ेंगे. थर्मोडायनेमिक्स में देयर इज अ लॉ, थर्ड लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स, जो कि बताता है आपको जीरो एंट्रोपी ऑफ crystals के बारे में. This particular state of matter is called as Bose-Einstein state. Bose-Einstein state. दोस्तों ये दो डिफरेंट साइंटिस्ट्स हैं. पहले साइंटिस्ट हैं जिनका नाम था एस.एन. बोस, Satyendra Bose. Satyendra Bose was the one scientist who brought up with the concept of this. What did he say? उन्होंने बोला कि अगर हम किसी भी पर्टिकुलर गैस को या मैटर को बहुत एनर्जी दे देते हैं तो इसके मॉलिक्यूल्स जो हैं या इसके जो एटम्स हैं वो आयनाइज हो जाते हैं, प्लाज्मा बना लेते हैं. लेकिन अगर हम लोग वहां पे जीरो टेम्परेचर कर दें, सारी एनर्जी बाहर निकाल लें, अगर किसी भी चीज की सारी एनर्जी बाहर निकाल दी जाएगी तो उसका मोशन हो जाएगा जीरो, वहां पे रैंडमनेस हो जाएगी जीरो. इस तरह की एक डिफरेंट टाइप की स्टेट है ना, परफेक्ट क्रिस्टलाइन स्टेट क्या कहलाती है? बोस आइंस्टीन कंडेंसेट. तो ये एक थॉट था कि अगर हम लोग 0 केल्विन तक पहुंच सके, हावेवर है ना, हावेवर दिस वाज नॉट पॉसिबल रीचिंग टू 0 केल्विन. तो सत्येंद्रनाथ बोस जी ने हेल्प ली किसकी? एल्बर्ट आइंस्टीन की. तो एल्बर्ट आइंस्टीन बेसिकली हेल्प्ड Mr. Satyendranath Bose to carry out this experimentation and observing the properties of such matter. They also found that this matter behaves differently, and that's why they named it an entire different state of matter called as fifth state of matter. उसका क्या नाम दे दिया उन्होंने? This is fifth state of matter. पांचवी state of matter बोलते हैं दोस्तों इसको. And this state of matter has the least energy. Nearly zero energy. It has what energy? Nearly zero energy. This is called as fifth state of matter. So दोस्तों this was the physical classification of matter that we have come across. ये physical classification था. अब मैं आप सभी लोगों को लेके चलूंगा कहां पे? केमिकल क्लासिफिकेशन के ऊपर. आप ये वाला पार्ट स्किप कर सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट एंड नॉट इन आवर स्टेक ऑफ सिलेबस. प्लाज्मा और बोस आइंस्टीन कंडेंसेट फॉर द सेक ऑफ इंटरेस्ट मैंने आप सभी लोगों को बताया, क्योंकि ये कुछ स्टेट्स ऑफ मैटर हैं, आप इन्हें अवॉइड कर सकते हैं. नाउ लेट अस कम टू द केमिकल क्लासिफिकेशन व्हिच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. केमिकल क्लासिफिकेशन पे काफी सारे क्वेश्चंस हैं एंड एवरीबॉडी प्लीज अटेम्प्ट योर असाइनमेंट आल्सो. I have added some questions in your assignment. There are 10 questions in your assignment, and all of these questions are based upon whatever you are right now studying in your lecture. And that is how the classes will be conducted. Every time some number of questions will be assigned to you as an assignment and you have to solve them. And it will be very much visible to me also how you are attempting your assignment. Okay, now, and I can also see who is not attempting the assignment. So those who will not do it, I'll take action. Anyways, this is a first class. Stay calm, chill रहिए, एकदम relax रहिए. Now let's come to the chemical classification of matter, that is pure substances. As its name suggests, pure means something that carry or something that is made up of a single type of particle. There is a single type of particle. These things are called as pure substances. What are the pure substances? Substances that are made up of a single type of constituent particle. Now this particle can be atom, molecule, ion, formula, unit. And what these things are, that will be also explained by me very soon. Now let's come to the first category of pure substance called as element. So guys, you all know in our modern periodic table, where am I talking about? In our modern periodic table, we have modern periodic table contains 118 elements. So till date, how many number of elements have been discovered? 118 elements have been discovered. Till date, 118 elements have been what? Discovered. And out of these 118 elements, we see that they all are made up of identical atoms, such as, take this example of copper wire. Now, can you think what is this copper wire made up of? So there could be what? Some tiny sized round shaped, we assume them round shaped, but these are what? Copper, Cu, atoms. So these are the particles, but I can see that all the particles are the similar one. Similarly here also some particles are there. What these particles are? In an aluminium foil, these are Al atoms. So every element is made up of what? atoms. Every element is made up of what? Atoms. So what you can say, I can conclude that the constituent particle of an element is atom. So who is the constituent particle of an element? It's atom. An element is made up of what? Atom. क्लियर है दोस्तों? ये एटम से मिलके क्या बन रहे हैं? एलिमेंट. या फिर कह सकते हैं कि एलिमेंट से मिलके क्या हो रहे हैं? एलिमेंट के जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट पार्टिकल वो कौन है? एटम्स. चलिए अगला देखते हैं, प्योर सब्सटेंस. नेक्स्ट क्या है? प्योर सब्सटेंस का अगला पार्ट. अच्छा, कुछ नोट दिया हुआ है अबाउट एलिमेंट्स ओनली. प्लीज कीप ऑन राइटिंग विथ मी एवरीबॉडी. जो भी ये लेक्चर अटेंड कर रहे हैं सभी लोग इसको लिखते हुए चलें. We have another thing, that is, not all the elements exist in atomic form. सारे के सारे एलिमेंट एटम्स की तरह नहीं रहते हैं, कुछों के अंदर मॉलिक्यूल भी होंगे, है ना. सो देखिए दोस्तों, एलिमेंट इज समथिंग जो कि नेचुरली फॉर्म्ड है और नेचर में इस तरीके से एग्जिस्ट करता है. जैसे मैं अगर बात करूं हाइड्रोजन, तो हाइड्रोजन डज नॉट एग्जिस्ट एज H एटम. हाइड्रोजन के H के पार्टिकल्स नहीं होते हैं. हाइड्रोजन एग्जिस्ट एज H2 मॉलिक्यूल. So there are some certain number of elements which exist not in atomic form but in molecular form, and here are the examples. Examples are H2, N2, O2, F2, Cl2, Br2, I2, P4, S8. These are such examples in which you can see that elements are existing in molecular form, not in atomic form. You have to learn this thing also. ठीक है ना. तो अगर मैं पूछूं कि एलिमेंट्स का कांस्टेंट पार्टिकल कौन है, तो हम बोलेंगे एटम है. लेकिन एटम्स कैन कंबाइन टुगेदर एंड कैन फॉर्म मॉलिक्यूल्स. लेकिन वो मॉलिक्यूल्स के अंदर एटम्स हमेशा क्या होंगे? सेम टाइप के. जैसे कि H2 में हाइड्रोजन, P4 में फोस्फोरस. सारे के सारे किससे कनेक्टेड है? केमिकल बॉन्ड से. S8 वी हैव सल्फर एटम्स, लाइक दैट. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज compound. Next is compound. The second category of pure substance is compound. What is this compound? So compound is made up of two or more elements in a fixed ratio of their mass. So there is an example, guys. There is an example. So let us suppose if I am adding hydrogen with oxygen, and let's suppose hydrogen, I'm taking 2 gram of hydrogen and I'm taking 16 gram of oxygen. 2 gram of hydrogen, 16 gram of oxygen, and I combine them chemically. So what I'm going under? Chemical combination. So a product is formed as H2O, which is called as water, and water is the example of a compound. And the ratio of hydrogen ratio oxygen over here is 1:8. So basically, you will understand the concept of compound in more detail. Don't worry. Compounds को हम और अच्छे से study करेंगे जब हम लोग सीखेंगे laws of chemical combination, how chemical combinations are conducted, how the products are formed. वो हम लोग सीखेंगे with the time. तब तक के लिए we'll take an idea that every compound has a constituent particle called as molecule. So here you can see that the properties differ from the individual atom. Obviously, H2, O2 were different. H2 is different, and examples are these. So I must write this point that the constituent particle of a compound is molecule. Constituent of a particle of a compound is what? A compound is made up of molecules. Always of molecules. Molecules of different atoms, right? A molecule in which different atoms are there chemically connected to each other. But I have third category. I have one more category, guys. See, let's look at these examples and it will help you to understand the concept. What I can see over here, everybody please have a focus over here. Stop writing for a while. Everybody please stop writing for a while. This is what? this iron rod. This is an iron rod. Iron rod has a mass. Iron rod has a space. Definitely iron rod can be regarded as a matter. But which specific matter is this? If I go under the chemical classification, this matter is an element. Which category can I keep it? Element. Now, if I closely watch it under, let's suppose, an electronic or atomic level microscope, what you'll find? I find that there are some constituent particles, metallic with like metallic bond over there. These particles held together by metallic bond, but these are individual particles. These particles is what? Fe atoms. These are what? Fe atoms. So these Fe atoms are what? These are the particles of this element. So we can say that an element contains what? An element is made up of what? Atoms. An element is made up of what? Atoms. What is this? This looks like a glass of water. इस पानी के ग्लास में दोस्तों अगर आप ऑब्जर्व करेंगे, so what you can find is there are again under microscope, definitely they are not visible by your eyes and not even by any kind of strong microscope. These are not visible by any scope. But yes, we can take the idea, we can find their presence by some another methods, X-ray diffraction pattern, resonance diffraction pattern. There are so many things by using that we can feel their presence. So now coming to the water molecules, this is actually filled up of water, and water is an example of compound. Water is an example of what? Compound. And what is this individual particle? Every particle of a compound is what? Molecule. So what I can write? Sir, particle of water is the H2O molecule. H2O molecule. This is H2O molecule. Now, this is something which is common salt. This is sodium chloride. This is sodium chloride. The question in sodium chloride is about its structure, and this comes under the category of an ionic compound. This is what? An ionic compound. Now you will understand why am I keeping this separate category of ionic compound? Why am I not mixing this with the normal ordinary compounds? We already had a compound here. This is also ionic compound, but why am I keeping this thing separated from the ordinary compound? I'll be revealing it right now. So what do you see in the structure of NaCl? This is actually the structure of sodium chloride. This ionic compound looks like this, where you can see that none of the ion is isolated or free. Every single ion, let it be chloride ion, let it be sodium ion, every single ion is connected with oppositely charged ion in 6 directions. Okay, 6 directions is in front, back, up, down, left, right. So what do you see? That there is no individual particle. I can simply write, what I can simply write is no individual particle. So if there is no individual particle, you cannot recall NaCl as a molecule, because a molecule is a separate entity, can be isolated. A molecule is a separate entity, but you cannot call NaCl as a molecule because NaCl is nowhere. This is, let's suppose this is what I can see, this is sodium Na+. So look, this is Na+, this is Cl negative. Where you can find that these are separated? Nowhere. So for these ionic compound, we use the term formula unit. What do we use? A special term. This is something that we haven't undergone till now. Formula unit के बारे में हमने आज तक बचपन में कुछ नहीं सुना था, है ना? We study in 11th standard only. इससे पहले NaCl को हम लोग molecule ही मानते थे. But NaCl is not a molecule. What is NaCl? NaCl is a formula unit. तो formula unit क्या होती है? Formula unit is a smallest whole number. सबसे छोटा होना चाहिए, whole number complete number होना चाहिए. You cannot write it Na half Cl half. You have to write it Na1 Cl1. Ratio of cation and anion in an ionic compound, and also it should be smallest whole number and electrically neutral. Electrically neutral, because you can also take Na2Cl. then it will acquire a positive charge, Na2Cl with positive charge. So this should be what? Electrically neutral unit, called as the formula unit. So guys, what I can also conclude with one point, that wherever there is an ionic compound, its constituent particle will be regarded as a formula unit. So we can simply write that formula unit is a constituent particle of ionic compound. So let us suppose we have some examples here. So I hope guys you all have got it pretty well. आप सभी लोग समझ रहे हैं इस चीज को यहां तक? क्या किसी को कोई भी कंफ्यूजन है एटम, आयन, मॉलिक्यूल और फॉर्मूला यूनिट में, या फिर एलिमेंट, कंपाउंड, आयनिक कंपाउंड में? इफ एनीवन हैज एनी डाउट प्लीज लेट मी नो. But we can take Na6Cl6. Very good, master. This was good. This was a good comment I had. Na6Cl6 is called as a unit cell. It is called as what? A unit cell of sodium chloride. Very good. But again, we cannot call it as a molecule. There is nothing called as molecule in ionic compound. You cannot say the constituent particle of an ionic compound is molecule. No. So likewise, let us suppose this is NaCl. What is NaCl? If it is a molecule, it's a wrong word. But what is it? It's a formula unit. So for all ionic compounds, their formula units will be neutral ratio of their ion. Neutral ratios of their ions. So let's say the ionic compound is sodium chloride. The unit will be NaCl. Let's say this is magnesium phosphate. We have to make a neutral unit. So see, we have Mg2 plus with PO4 3 minus. What we have to do is simply cross multiplying with the charges. What is the formula unit? Mg3 PO4 whole twice. Let's suppose I have aluminium phosphate or aluminium sulfate. What do I have? Aluminium with 3 plus, sulfate ion with 2 minus charge. Cross multiplying will give you what? Al2SO4 whole thrice. तो दोस्तों याद रखना इस बात को, आयनिक कंपाउंड्स के लिए उनकी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट पार्टिकल मॉलिक्यूल नहीं रहेगी. क्या रहेगी? देयर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट पार्टिकल्स विल बी फॉर्मूला यूनिट. होपफुली आप सभी लोगों को मेरा ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया हो. होपफुली आप सभी लोग पैरेलली मेरे साथ नोट्स राइट डाउन कर रहे होंगे. नहीं कर रहे हैं तो प्लीज करो. अगर आप नोट्स नहीं बनाएंगे, चीजों को डिटेल में नहीं सीखेंगे मेरे साथ, इट वॉन्ट हेल्प यू इन फ्यूचर. ये तभी काम आएंगी चीजें जब आप अपने आप से एक बार इन्हें करेंगे. चलो एक क्वेश्चन करते हैं, बड़ा सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है. एक क्वेश्चन यहां पे करते हैं दोस्तों. आइए, मैच द कॉलम. आपको मैच करना है एंड यू हैव टू रिस्पॉन्ड मी आउट ऑफ 1, 2, 3 एंड 4. बताना है आप में से कि यहां पे करेक्ट आंसर कौन सा है. We have some constituent particles here. We have constituents, means these are some constituent particles. This is complete matter. Now out of these we have to decide which of them is the constituent particle belonging to. What do you understand from CO2? What is CO2? Carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide is a molecule, and a molecule is a constituent particle of a compound. Likewise, zinc sulfate, Zn2 positive, sulfate 2 negative. It's an ionic compound. So an ionic compound, and this overall is basically what? Formula unit. Whenever there is an ionic formula written somewhere, this is called as formula unit. And formula unit should belong to an ionic compound. And Fe is simply an atom. And an atom is a constituent particle of what? Yes, sir, element. Can you guys give me the correct answer, everybody? Please submit the correct answer. Please have a focus here. CO2 belonging to compound. So first belong to B, second belong to C, third belong to A. Where can you find B, C, A? Correct answer should be second. यार इतना तो आप आसानी से कर ही सकते थे, इतनी देर से हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं. वी आर स्टडिंग फ्रॉम पास 1 hour, तो आई थिंक दिस वाज वेरी मच मैनेजेबल. आई होप आप सभी लोग समझ रहे होंगे इसे. चलो, नाउ आई विल टेक यू टू वन मोर एग्जांपल. There you have another example. Everybody, please attempt this question. Please, everybody, attempt this question. Which of the following contains only one element? इनमें से कौन सा है जो एक एलिमेंट है? मार्बल. दोस्तों, मैं इनके कॉम्पोजिशन बता देता हूं. मार्बल इज एक्चुअली कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट. Diamond. What is diamond made up of? You all know. It's a pure form of carbon. Glass somewhere contains what? Silicon oxide. And then sand also contains silicon oxide, calcium carbonate, calcium oxide, and others impurities as well. So what do you think the correct answer should be? The question asked was which contains only one element. Only element is what? Carbon is the element. Rest others are what? Compounds. Rest others are what? Compounds. Compounds, and this is the mixture. The only element is carbon. चलिए, अब देखिए, now we have come to the another classification, another chemical classification of matter, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं mixtures. Mixture is not a fixed composition. Like mixtures do not have any fixed composition. They can be formed by any kind of combination. So we have written variable combinations of the two or more pure substances. So let us suppose there is one remote. There is one remote of this presentation. There is one remote of AC. They are clubbed together here. It is also a mixture. Two substances placed together. It's a mixture. So mixture is what? Wherever you put two substances together which are pure in nature, it gives you a mixture. Mixture could be of two types. One of them is called as heterogeneous, another is called as homogeneous. Always remember, homogeneous, why we are calling something as homogeneous, as the name itself suggests. Homogeneous mixtures are supposed to have uniform composition throughout. So in the complete mixture or in the complete homogeneous mixture, you will see that there is a uniform distribution, composition, or we can say simply distribution of particles. The distribution of particle is always uniform. These particles, if I am talking about the particle, they are solute particle. In the end of this chapter, I will teach you one topic called as concentration term. तो दोस्तों, वहां concentration terms में मैं आपको पढ़ाऊंगा कि कैसे कंसंट्रेशन टर्म्स को हम लोग यूज करते हुए सोल्यूट एंड सॉल्वेंट के बारे में समझते हैं अबाउट सॉल्यूशंस. तब तक के लिए आप ये मान लीजिए, तब तक के लिए कि पार्टिकल साइज, इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट पार्टिकल्स, इट्स सोल्यूट पार्टिकल, दे हैव 1 नैनोमीटर, लेस देन 1 नैनोमीटर. दोस्तों 1 नैनोमीटर जो होता है उसकी साइज कितनी होती है? 10⁻⁹ मीटर, विच इज एब्सोल्युटली इनविजिबल बाय आवर नेकेड आईज. And that's why the particle size is so small that a light coming as a wave does not get scattered by these particles. These particles are very small. Light gets over to them and does not get reflected by them. So that's why it will not show the path of a light if we pass a particular beam of light through the solution. So there is no Tyndall effect. Particles do not settle. They are very much stable. Rubbing alcohol with some isopropyl alcohol and ethanol. So mixture of 2 or 3 substances. Saline water is salt plus water. Sugar syrup, salt, sugar plus water. These all are the example of uniform solutions. So guys, there you can have mixtures with Tyndall effect, that you can observe Tyndall effect. So in Tyndall effect, what we can see that this is a solution, any homogeneous mixture. Light of path is not visible. Then we have colloid. Colloid, we have visible path of light. And in suspension also we have visible path of light. Now coming to the next one is called as suspension. Suspension is heterogeneous in nature. Heterogeneous means there is a non-uniform distribution of the particles. There is a visible layer of separation between the constituent. As you can see this example, this is a layer of separation, or we can call it a boundary of separation. Boundary of separation between the components, water and sand. It also shows Tyndall effect. Particles are even bigger than 1 micrometer, which is visible by our naked eye. That's why you can see sand particles over water. Particles settle down, and that's why suspensions are not stable. They are never stable. They always settle down and settle down. This process becomes decantation, or settling only. Sedimentation, sorry. This process called as sedimentation. Okay. Muddy water is one example. Sand and stone, rice and pulses. So anything where you can find the boundary layer or the separation layer, this is called as the suspension. फिर आते हैं दोस्तों मिक्सचर्स का another type है colloids. Now let's see what is colloid. Colloids are kind of like camouflage. Colloids are camouflage. How we call them camouflage? Because colloids look alike homogeneous. ये दिखते तो हैं homogeneous, but actually are heterogeneous. होते क्या है? Heterogeneous. दिखते हैं homogeneous, होते हैं heterogeneous. Let's welcome colloids. So the particle size of colloid is between 1 nanometer to 1 micrometer. So this particle size is adequate to scatter the incoming light. And that's what the path of light is visible. If the path of light is visible, it shows you Tyndall effect. Particles don't settle. It's a stable mixture. Examples are milk, soap solution, blood, ice cream, juices, etc. These all come under the category of colloid. So दोस्तों, I think आज का लेक्चर इनफ है. होपफुली आप सभी लोगों ने ये टॉपिक समझ लिया होगा. करेक्ट? मैं आप सभी लोगों के कमेंट देख रहा हूं. सिद्धांत, दिव्या, फाइन. Let's see some example. Sir, can you explain Tyndall effect? Yeah, why not? So, दोस्तों, Tyndall effect is very simple. See, this is, let's suppose this is sugar syrup. This is, let's suppose, is milk, and this one is sand and water, muddy water. And if I am trying to pass the light source, I am trying to pass the light through all of these mixtures. Can you see the path of light? Can I see the path of light? The path of light, this is invisible here. Over here, it is visible. The path of light is visible. And over here also visible. So basically consider, everybody please consider light as a wave. So let's suppose light is coming in a wave form like this. And here is a particle, okay? In between, you find here is a particle. Let's suppose the particle size is very small. Particle is very small, light will come and will go beyond it without even striking it. But if the particle size is bigger, let's suppose this, then bigger size will come in the path of light and will be getting, light will get what? Reflected. Once the reflection will take place, the reflected light or the reflected photon will come in your eyes and the things will be visible. This visibility is called as Tyndall effect. You might have observed the sand particles floating around if you open a window or if you open a door. Sometimes sunlight is coming in your room. That light path is sometimes visible to us. What is that? That light path created is a colloidal thing. It's a colloidal mixture. What colloidal mixture? Of suspended light dust particle in air. This is heterogeneous in nature, but particle size is that much which can scatter the incoming light. This is called as, what we call it, Tyndall effect. बताओ कोई डाउट हो तो टिंडल इफेक्ट में? अरे भाई, कभी सुबह उठ के खिड़की खोलते हैं तो क्या दिखाई देता है? ऐसा दिखाई देता है कि लाइट, सनलाइट इज फॉलिंग एंड पार्टिकल्स आर सस्पेंडेड. ऐसा लगता है छोटे छोटे पार्टिकल्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं, सस्पेंडेड. व्हाट इज दैट? लाइट इज गेटिंग स्कैटर्ड बाय दीज पार्टिकल. इस तरह के इफेक्ट को कहते हैं टिंडल इफेक्ट. बट टिंडल इफेक्ट कहां पर होता है? टिंडल इफेक्ट तब होगा जब पार्टिकल का साइज बड़ा होगा. पार्टिकल साइज बड़े का मतलब ये हो गया 1 माइक्रोमीटर से लेके 1 नैनोमीटर तक. लेकिन नैनोमीटर से छोटे पार्टिकल्स टिंडल इफेक्ट शो नहीं करेंगे. चलो यार आगे बढ़ते हैं. दैट्स इट फॉर द डे दोस्तों. आइए कुछ सवाल लगाते हैं. तो कुछ सवाल लगाते हैं यहाँ पे, कुछ क्वेश्चंस ट्राई करते हैं. आइए. तो सवाल है कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग, which one of the following is not a pure substance? Everybody please attempt this question. Everybody please attempt. सारे लोग चेक करो इस क्वेश्चन को. कौन सा इनमें से प्योर सब्सटेंस जो है वो नहीं है? प्योर गोल्ड, प्योर वाटर, प्योर मिल्क और प्योर कार्बन ब्लैक. ओके, बताइए एक बार जल्दी से. प्योर गोल्ड क्या होता है दोस्तों? एलिमेंट है, प्योर है. प्योर वाटर भी क्या है? प्योर वाटर कंपाउंड है. और कंपाउंड भी क्या होते हैं? प्योर सब्सटेंस है. प्योर कार्बन ब्लैक भी क्या हो जाएगा? कार्बन है, मतलब तो एलिमेंट है. एलिमेंट भी प्योर होते हैं. लेकिन प्योर मिल्क क्या है दोस्तों? कोलोइड है. और कोलोइड क्या होते हैं दोस्तों? मिक्सचर्स होते हैं. और क्या मिक्सचर्स प्योर सब्सटेंस होंगे? नहीं. करेक्ट आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? प्योर मिल्क. तो आप सभी लोग यूजुअली देखते होंगे, आप लोगों ने ऑब्जर्व किया होगा कि हमारे घर पे, है ना, घर पे रिलेटिव्स में हमें बोला जाता है कि यार प्योर मिल्क लेके आओ, प्योर. तो द ओनली एडजेक्टिव ओवर देयर, मतलब जो कह सकते हैं ना, बस प्योर बोला ही जाता है, प्योर जैसा कुछ होता नहीं. क्योंकि मिल्क के अंदर बहुत सारे कॉम्पोजिशंस होते हैं. मिल्क इज मेड अप ऑफ वाटर, शुगर, ऑयल, फैट्स, प्रोटीन, जो कि नॉन यूनिफॉर्म सस्पेंडेड होते हैं. नॉन यूनिफॉर्म बेसिकली वहां पर सस्पेंडेड होते हैं. इसकी वजह से वहां पे वी कॉल इट हेटेरोजेनस मिक्सचर, नॉट अ होमोजेनस वन. आखिरी क्वेश्चन है दोस्तों. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ ट्रू सॉल्यूशन? कौन सा इनमें से क्या नहीं है? ट्रू सॉल्यूशन नहीं है. सॉल्टी वाटर, शुगर सिरप, लेमनेड, मडी वाटर. तो दोस्तों वी नो दैट मडी वाटर इज व्हाट? सस्पेंशन. एंड अ सस्पेंशन कैन नॉट बी रिगार्डेड एज व्हाट? ट्रू सॉल्यूशन. ट्रू सॉल्यूशन का मतलब हो गया होमोजेनस. And this is suspension. Correct answer should be 4. मैंने ऑलरेडी आप सभी लोगों को असाइनमेंट दे दिया है. देयर आर सम सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस जो आप लोगों को अपने एंड से करने हैं. असाइनमेंट कंटेन्स 10 सिंपल क्वेश्चंस बेस्ड ऑन समथिंग दैट आई हैव टॉट टुडे. एक बार बच्चों अच्छे से इसको रिवाइज करना, घर जाके अच्छे से बैठो, समय निकालो, नोट्स प्रॉपरली बनाओ. ये चीजें बड़ी आसान है, आप लोगों ने 9th-10th में भी पढ़ी होंगी. बट अगेन एज आई टोल्ड यू, एवरी टाइम यू टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बेसिक और फ्रॉम द जीरो. तो आज ये काम आएंगी, कल को इन्हीं के बेसिस पे ये चैप्टर कब डिफिकल्ट बन जाएगा, यू विल नॉट नो. द चैप्टर विल टर्न इनटू दैट फेज where you will be solving lots of numerical, but every time you will be solving numerical, you have to keep these things in your mind. The chemical classification, especially atom, ion, molecule, formula unit. So these all contain and they all make complicated terms such as atomic mass, relative atomic mass, gram atomic mass, molecular mass, average molecular mass, gram atomic mass, gram molecular mass, formula mass, blah blah blah. So that's what we'll be covering in our upcoming chapter. We have one more question. Which type of shows the Tyndall effect? Where can you see the Tyndall effect? Which of the following will show Tyndall effect? Please try attempting this question. Can salty water show you Tyndall effect? Can sugar syrup show you Tyndall effect? So basically, shows Tyndall effect. So who can show Tyndall effect? Milk can show you Tyndall effect because milk is what? Colloid. Why these can't show you Tyndall effect? Because they are ट्रू सॉल्यूशंस, दीज आर ट्रू सॉल्यूशंस। अब ट्रू सॉल्यूशन तो कभी नहीं देंगे आपको ना, इस तरीके से। So that's it. In my upcoming lecture, I'll be dealing with some of the laws of chemical combination, but not right now. We had enough of the day today, and we had some issues in the starting of the class. That's why the class could started lately. आप लोग बिल्कुल टेंशन ना लें दोस्तों, जितने भी लोग यहाँ पे एनरोल किए हैं, जितने भी लोग आज ये लाइव लेक्चर मेरा देख रहे हैं, कुछ लोग आप हिंदी समझ रहे हैं, कुछ लोग इंग्लिश समझ रहे हैं, कुछ लोग इंग्लिश समझ रहे हैं। The very first advice I want to give to everyone is English is very important. आपके आने वाली जर्नी में whatever thing you will study is in English, वो इंग्लिश में रहेगी। तो I will make sure कि हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों चीजें बैलेंस रहें। तो हमारे पास में काफी सारा क्राउड है, काफी सारे बच्चे हमारे साउथ इंडिया से बिलोंग करते हैं। दे आर फेमिलियर विद इंग्लिश, नॉट विद हिंदी। कुछ बच्चे नॉर्थ इंडिया के स्पेसिफिकली हमारे हिंदी से बिलोंग करते हैं, हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश इंग्लिश में। सो दैट्स व्हाई विल मेक श्योर कि आप सभी लोगों को इनफ कंटेंट मिलता रहे। यू विल ऑल बी एट द सेम पेज। ट्राई सोल्विंग माय असाइनमेंट एंड मैं आपसे मिलता हूं अगले क्लास में विद मोर जोश। ओके, ऑलवेज बी वेरी पॉजिटिव, विल मेक इट दिस ईयर। ओके, चलिए बाय बाय एवरीवन, बाय बाय।